So at this very moment that you guys are watching this video, I should be on a flight right now headed to Disney World. While I was packing and getting my things ready for this vacation, I decided to show you guys some of my travel essentials that I bring with me when it comes to packing for a vacation. I'm going on actually 3 different vacations in one. I'll be stopping over in LA, and then I'll be going over to Disney World, Universal Studios, and then I'll be heading over to Miami to tie off my entire trip. So I've had to pack almost 2 weeks of clothes in one carry-on bag and one backpack. I want to show you guys a couple of my travel essentials that I have to bring with me on all of my vacations. And hopefully these are things that you haven't seen before. Maybe they are some things that you have, but these aren't going to be your traditional like travel essentials. These are things that I've literally just picked up along the way, especially for tropical settings or for like me going to an amusement park. These are essentials for me, and I think you guys can find some use of it. Also, just to acknowledge the elephant in the room, these are my Mickey ears that I made by myself, and I'm super excited and I want to show you guys. So there's that. First item I want to talk about is my backpack. So I am a content creator. I do have a lot of camera gear. My backpack is a camera gear backpack, but I'm using it more as a hybrid for this trip. We're all allowed one personal item, so make sure you make that personal item well worth it. So I use this backpack as a means to protect my camera gear. So I'm going to be bringing along my camera, one other lens. I decided to leave most of my gear at home, but I do want to make sure that it's protected while I travel. So this is why I chose this backpack in order to bring it. But I removed a lot of the dividers inside the backpack so that I can stuff in my personal items. I always like to carry my undergarments and my toiletries on my person. I prefer that as opposed to putting it in my carry-on luggage, and it's easily accessible if I need it. So moving on from the backpack, I mentioned that I keep my toiletries and my undergarments on my person in this backpack. The way I organize those is through packing cubes. Now I know I mentioned in the beginning of the video that these are probably things that you've never heard of, so hopefully if you haven't heard of packing cubes at this point, you're probably living under a rock, but I highly recommend them. I didn't think I would love it. I didn't think I would understand the purpose, but I fully understand the purpose. I took it on my last trip when I went to Mexico, and it was so well worth the money. I bought these 2 sets of packing cubes from Amazon, a black one for my boyfriend, and then the light tan ones for me. I also had another set of black ones, but I wanted to try this new set. It comes with a plethora of different bags in different sizes, shoe bags, laundry bag, and 3 packing cubes. If you guys haven't used packing cubes at this point, please, I promise you, give it a try. And if it doesn't save you space, it'll definitely keep you organized, I'll tell you that. For me, I think it does both. I've been able to pack over 12 days of outfits in these packing cubes, and I was able to fit it in here. So these are one essential item that I just can't live without anymore. This collapsible water bottle. Because I'm gonna be walking around a lot in the parks, I wanna make sure I'm traveling light as well as maximizing the amount of space in my backpack that I will have at the parks. So getting a collapsible water bottle was the best way to do that. Instead of having a full-size water bottle where I have to lug that around, I decided to pick up this collapsible water bottle from Amazon, and I think it's gonna be perfect for me at the parks. And I also think it's a perfect addition when you're traveling through TSA. We all know that you're not allowed to bring water bottles through TSA, but you can always bring an empty water bottle. This is so beneficial in the sense that you can bring a bottle that's not going to take up much space. You can collapse it when you're done, or you can leave it in the small compact state that is already in and fill it up from there. But it does pretty much double in size. Now you guys know that I love Cricut, and this is not a sponsored video for them. I have a lot of Cricut things. So this is by no means telling you to go out and buy a Cricut item just for this purpose. If you happen to have this item at home, I think it's useful to travel with. So I have the Cricut Easy Press Mini. It is a small little iron that heats up really hot. It gets really hot, I think over 400 degrees, but I love this because it's compact, it's small, and this is useful in those circumstances where you go to a hotel and they don't have an iron, or they have a steamer only, or they don't have a steamer. It's just better to be prepared rather than hoping that the hotels will have what you need. I know this iron is very useful for me when traveling. That way I can make sure that all of my clothes are wrinkle free, especially since I roll all of my clothes in order to save space. That does create a lot of wrinkles, and sometimes steaming garments isn't the best way for me to iron things. If you have the need for a Cricut mini press iron outside of just traveling, I highly recommend bringing it with you while you're traveling. Liquid IV. I'm 30 years old, you guys know that, and I can't keep up the way I used to, okay? So liquid IVs are really good for those days where you wanna drink a little bit more. This will hydrate your body, that way the liquor or the alcohol won't dehydrate you as fast. I also think this will be useful for me, especially in the parks with the heat. You can dehydrate super fast when you're out in the heat, especially in Florida. I think this could be useful across many different vacations when it comes to traveling for tropical locations, or even when you're hiking. Anything that requires you to stay hydrated most of the time, I think a liquid IV will be beneficial and come into play. So if you're the type of person who gets motion sickness on a plane, you could bring Dramamine. I pack all of that as well, but if you haven't tried these things called C-bands, I definitely recommend giving it a try. I bought these when I first went on my first cruise years ago. They pretty much hit a pressure point on your wrist, and it's supposed to help with nausea. So if you're ever planning a cruise, or like I said, going on an airplane and you frequently get nauseous, or if you're going to a amusement park like I am and are prone to getting sick on rides, these could be pretty useful. Okay, so portable fans. If you're going somewhere hot, having a portable fan is a godsend. Like literally, I have this set where I just put it over my neck. It's a black set, and the fan literally just shoots up into kind of like your neck area and kind of cools everything down. I brought this on my last trip when I went to Disney, and it was a lifesaver. I recommend it on going on beach days. If you're going on vacation and you're gonna be on the beach, bring yourself this portable fan. I promise you, you won't regret it. I also purchased this portable fan as well, but I gave it to my grandmother. It's cute, but it's just a little bit more cumbersome around the neck, but it does cool a little bit more because it cools all the way around your neck. But I do prefer the one that just kind of shoots up in my face because it is a lot stronger. I travel with a silk pillowcase all the time. I can't sleep on other people's pillows, especially at hotels. I will most likely remove the pillowcases from the pillows. That way I can also inspect them, because you know. But it's just easier for me to sleep, and it's healthier for me to sleep on my own satin pillowcases. And it's something really easy and compact to bring. I also like to bring a cooling towel. Again, I mentioned any place where you're going where it's going to be hot, anything that can rapidly cool you off is an essential to me. I don't do well in heat at all. I overheat very quickly. So having something like this, which is a cooling towel, all you have to do is wet it, wring it out, and then snap it. And I don't know how it works. It's kind of like magic, but I'm telling you, it works. It'll stay cool and it will cool your body off, and is one of my other travel essentials. I cannot leave the house without it. Another thing that I travel with is my makeup bag, and you can tell that this makeup bag is very well used and very well loved. I even use it here at home as a way to organize my makeup, but I use this makeup bag everywhere I go. I purchased it from Amazon a while ago, and I love it because it has so many different compartments. It has organization for my makeup brushes. It has organization to keep my bottles in place, and I can add some other makeup palettes in there. And it's just large enough but compact at the same time that I can fit it in my suitcase and still keep my makeup in there and keep it safe and away from other things. And one of the last things that I do pack, there are other things. I'm just trying to give you guys the things that you most likely won't think about, but because of the times, I do bring rapid COVID tests, because why not? If I'm sick, I'd rather find out rapidly by myself at home before I have to go searching for a test, and they're super easy to find nowadays. And I think it's just easy to have them and keep them tucked in your suitcase. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I pack everything into my 2 items, my personal item and then my carry-on item. I have a Samsonite suitcase that I got not at will. I had to get it against my better judgment, but my suitcase broke at the worst place, at the airport. That's a whole story in itself, on how my suitcase broke and how I ended up in the train tracks trying to retrieve it, and how people had to pull me up before the train got there. That's a whole nother story. But yes, I packed everything into this Samsonite suitcase. I do love it though. It was severely overpriced because I had to buy it at the airport, but I do love the smoothness of this. It has not failed me yet. And I just attached the backpack that I have, and it has a little sleeve, and I just slide that right over the handles of the suitcase. And this is the easiest travel tip ever. Make sure you get a bag, a personal item that can slide over your suitcase handles. If you don't do that already, who wants to be lugging around a backpack through an airport? It's heavy. You're carrying enough stuff. Be sure to stay tuned for my next video, because we will be announcing another giveaway for 50,000 subscribers. I love y'all. I swear to God, I love y'all so much. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Don't forget, don't exit this video without liking the video, okay? If you like this type of video, you might like my other videos as well, so be sure to check those out, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Peace.